is seen by URA in real time. Like when we consume water, it is seen because of that system, that meter. Now this electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system is like a meter where we see all your transactions in real time. So in that way, we've supported URA to have that system. We are supporting URA on the digital tax stamps. This water here, I don't know, I've not seen. All this water now has a stamp, which shows that what the manufacturers declare is the same with what we see, because whatever comes out of the production line must have a stamp. So this going digital in this era, we think, is right. We are providing money to URA for recruitment of staff. Recently, senior management staff were recruited. Before that, there were about 250,000 staff were recruited at their lower level, and more are going to be recruited so that URA can be effective. We are also provided money for scanners, because that is one thing that wasn't moving on well. So generally, we work in very close contact with URA to try and understand what their problems are in respect to collection. And I want to tell you that we sit down with them and set targets. It's not a Ministry of Finance target. It's a target that we sit down and arrive at scientifically. This will be collected under these circumstances. And we always look at the circumstances and say, oh, URA, what happened? They will say, of course, some of the economy is still closed. So people are not working, they are not paying, manufacturing is down. We'll understand all this. We really move hand in glove with URA. Every time we are actually trying to make sure that we give them as much money as they need. We can't give them all of what they need because our purse is not so deep, but we try to facilitate them. And there are no budget cuts where URA is concerned. Other institutions have suffered a budget cut of 40% across the board, but URA has not suffered. On the alternative dispute mechanism, I would really say that we are looking at more of sensitization of taxpayers, because sometimes when taxpayers don't understand this, then they may not act properly. So we are working with URA on a tax education program that will really go out to taxpayers and try to tell them about the tax dispute mechanism. Thank you.
Moses Kagwa, ladies and gentlemen. Moses is the Director, Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Patience, you have the final say to close incentives out of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Patience, you have a minute or two.
Thank you so much, Solomon, and I would like to thank all the panelists really for the views that have come through. A number of areas have been raised, and we'll look through them. Particularly, Fiona is very passionate about some of the things that we are doing, so we've taken the feedback, my President, and we'll be able to work through some of those areas. But I would like to also thank the Ministry of Finance for the support that they have given Uganda Revenue Authority. Because like Moses has said, we are one of those institutions that have actually not suffered any budget cuts. But then they have also been able to give us additional resources for automation and recruitment of more staff. So each budget cycle we've had discussions and they've been able to listen to us and say, how can we empower the URA to perform even better? Now that is very important. because then we have a number of issues, but the ministry is always willing really to listen to us and see how they can chip in and be able to support us. And we have got that support from the ministry, and that has enabled us to do our work. Even in terms of other policy measures, really, we'll have discussions. They will consult us, really, and we believe through the discussions we're able to come up with proposals, but it's all at the leadership of the ministry and being able to listen to us and having these discussions. So we thank the ministry really for the support. But I would also like to thank the ministry for the support to the Tax Appeals Tribunal. Because the Tax Appeals Tribunal, yes, very professional, they've been very efficient, but I've also given them the space where they're able to listen to the needs, they're able to facilitate them to be able to deliver. But it is in that recognition that they must be able to have a Tax Appeals Tribunal that is very efficient and be able to resolve the disputes. But they also have trust that the taxpayers trust the system. And for us, that is also very key, because you do not want to be seen as URA that will always have the upper hand. No, this is a partnership. It is about voluntary compliance. And I'm glad that OJ mentioned that. For us, we are working towards having taxpayers that we are able to have discussions, taxpayers that are able to trust the system, that are able that when the assessment is raised, indeed, they are happy with that. I would also like to appreciate Mr. Kenya. We've had actually a number of our tax agents and lawyers that believe in this system of alternative dispute resolution. They have approached us, we've had discussions, and that is the way we have actually been able to resolve these cases. Some are resolved even before we go to a Tax Appeals Tribunal, but we thank the agents, we thank the lawyers and accountants that have also seen that this method of ADR indeed has benefits. For me, the biggest benefit really is the fact that we're able to have amicable discussions and be able to resolve the matters in the faster manner. With the court processes, of course, you still have disputes that will end up there. But remember, within the court systems, you have these many appeal processes. So what ADR offers is that you have a discussion and you're able to conclude that matter, that both the taxpayer and the URA have resolved that they have agreed upon. So you will not have the many layers of these cases also being going through on the appeal levels. So that is one big advantage. Then, of course, the issue of the costs, which we have also talked before. But related to ADR is that we also have where we request taxpayers to make voluntary disclosures. And I think this is where also I think Fiona alluded to it, that what are some of those benefits. Within the law, we have provisions where if you come and voluntarily tell the URA, you know, this is where you went wrong,